Yeah, it's CC, CEO. Wanna change your life? Come see me, yo. I'ma teach you how to build up wealth for your family, not just for yourself. I'm a bestseller, a house flipper, a businesswoman, a go-getter, a big investor, a gold builder that could teach you to get richer like millions, baby. You really about to fill your savings. You about to have multiple streams to pass your children, baby. Let me teach you to get your credit on track in the long run. You'll make it all back at Catalyst and watch it all psychological black-owned firm, but we ain't all black.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Constance Carter. Hey, happy Tuesday. It's the Grow Your Money podcast. You guys, come on in, my friends. You know I love it when you talk back to me and talk black to me. So, it's Tuesday. There's so much to unpack. I want to get right to it, but before I do, you know that I need to shout everybody out who watches me every single day. Y'all know this is a dialogue and not a monologue, okay? So what does that mean? That means I love to have interactive conversations. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to go over here to Facebook, because what happens is I go on about 8 different platforms every morning. And for some reason, my Facebook tends to lock up when I go live. So I got to unlock it to make it, so where you can see it. And then we good to go. All right. Boom. So what's up, everybody? So I know that we have people that watch from all over the world. I want to see who's watching with us and who's talking with us. So as always, thank you always for coming in. Miss Lovely JR, Miss Sophia Chambers. I appreciate you. Who else do we have out here? In the house? Make sure I got everybody. Boom. Yeah, we good. Okay. Who else do we have? You know what? I forgot one. Sorry, y'all. Okay. So who else is out here? And then if you have a Black-owned business, or you are a Black-owned business, I want to shout you out. So if you have a Black-owned business, I want to make sure that we recognize you. We add you to we add you here to the stream so that we can see what it is, who we're supporting. Also, I want to make sure that you guys are networking with one another. So if you see someone in the chat, in the comments, that has a business that perhaps you want to do business with, please make sure you patronize their business and you keep it in the family, because we need this. Today we're going to talk about something that I think is a really urgent matter, and it's not. It says Black women, but this affects our entire community, because what affects one affects everyone. And so as we are being insulated and we're minding our Black businesses, it's also important that we understand what's going on, why it's going on, how it's going on, and all the things that play into this, and how we can become insulated, more importantly, from this. What's up, Naomi from New York City? What's happening? All right, so I have a special guest today. Well, special guest, my co-host today, but she ain't quite ready. So I'm gonna go ahead and start the conversation. What's up, Marcy? Marcy's business is called Basket Binge. Marcy, what type of business is Basket Binge, and where can they find your business? So do you have a website? Do you have an Instagram? Do you have Facebook? How do they get in contact with your business? I want to, if you only have a social media, please, I admonish you to get a website, because you need to have a web presence outside of social media. Don't let social media be the only way that you're promoting your business if you're serious about your business. So, but give us how to contact you. If you have a phone number, if you have a website, if you have an email, because we want to put it in the chat. We want to showcase your business. Okay. So listen, before Tiara comes on here, I want to get right into why this is such an urgent conversation that I wanted to have. I don't know if you knew that Black women lost 106,000 jobs in April. We got to figure out how we insulate ourselves. Okay. Well, according to I seen this on a post yesterday. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, in April of 2025, Black women lost 106,000 jobs. Did you guys know that? Did anybody see that yesterday? Anybody see that? Black women lost 106,000 jobs. Now let that sink in. So the funny thing is, The majority of people who I see that are in the personal development space or in the professional development space, who are always trying to improve themselves, who are the number one people at churches and things like this, are Black women. And Black women last month have had a record high of unemployment. Do you think that's by design? I do. Do you think it's a conspiracy? I do. There's an African proverb that says, when you teach a man, you teach an individual, but when you teach a woman, you teach a nation. And so, how do we get to the core of the Black community? But by through its woman. First is through welfare and no man in the house. Now it's through unemployment. But before we take a deep dive in the conversation, I want to bring on my co-host, Miss. We're gonna do it one more time. We're gonna do it one more time. You ready? She wasn't ready. I can't even hear you. I can't hear you, sis. I love your hair. Wait, you're muted.
Listen, I was trying to get my life together, y'all. Good morning.
I haven't seen you in so long.
I know. Good morning. I'm in the gym. What's good?
The Grow Your Money
Everybody.
Club.
Well,
What's
you ain't
that
seen
in?
me in a long time. You seen me like over the weekend. But
I did. Okay, real quick, y'all. Okay, before we get into it, I was trying to really stall because your ass, you see that her ass ain't even where she probably put on her shoes. She probably only got her drawers on right now. It's real bad. Real bad.
You already know. You know. Listen,
It's-
you know who I am. As long as you know who I am.
So I saw Tiara this weekend and it was so good to see her. Can I tell you, I wish I had a video of her daughter. Her daughter is like a genius. Her daughter is literally, you know who your daughter puts me in the mind of? Who, like, super smart. Who do people say that she reminds them of?
Marseilles Martin.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. We met Marseille and her mother Carol years ago, and we keep up by like Facebook, and I like kind of chat with them all the time. So I'm really a fan of their family and watching Marseille grow up. So we had questions because I was like, man, I'm trying to get this kid to do what your kid is doing, so we got to keep in touch. So we do.
Yeah, she was the youngest director in the history of Hollywood. So Marseille Martin is the young lady on that was on Blackish, the little girl who was super smart. Her daughter is so freaking brilliant, you guys. It's crazy,
I appreciate that.
And she's 14.
Mm-hmm.
And so the way she grabbed the mic with so much confidence and poise, and the diction and the choice of words that she uses, I'm like, 14 where?
Yeah.
14 where? I'm just always impressed when I see her.
So, a lot of that is training. When she was 4, I put a mic in her hand, right? When she was young, I just started to drill her. I taught her we start learning how to read at 2. And
Wow.
so, because I knew we were going to give her a script, like she comes from a family of performers. I met her father on a movie set. We were both leads. He was the male lead. I was the female lead. We did a film in Mexico, and we hit it off, and a couple years later we had a baby, and it was just only destined. So she, I feel like in a way it's so different, because one day her dad might call and be like, hello. He'd be like, I'm working on an accent right now, so I gotta stay in character. So like from day to day, and he'll stay in it all day. He'll stay in character all day. And then meanwhile, you got your mama over here singing. So it was just, and her dad's painting, and we're just a really, really, really creative family. So, it was inevitable.
Yeah. So we were at the Economic Elevation Summit over the weekend, and I brought my kids. You brought your daughter. Let me ask you a question.
Love your children.
Thank you.
They're the sweetest kids ever. Like, they're just so smart, and they give me hope for the next generation, really.
Thank you.
You really do. Like those kids that you'd be like, oh, we're doomed. And then you meet all of Constance's kids. It's like, I had property when I was 18, and I had this, and I was doing that. I was like, oh, well, shit, I didn't even got no property yet. I live in California. That's why.
Well, you know what's funny is before we came downstairs, I told them they look like YNs.
I like, yeah, they got a little YN appeal. It's
And then when Boyce was talking to him, he was like, "Don't let nobody call y'all YNs." And then my son was got to smirking. He looked at me.
I love it.
mean, black males with the dreads. I mean, they all look alike. I mean, what do you do?
They fit the bill. They fit the description.
Let me ask you this, because I shared with them yesterday how important it is having your kids in the room of these types of conversations. And my daughter has been coming with me to conferences since she was 14. Mm-hmm. So, like, if you see that chick I think I may even have a video of them selling. Yeah, look at this. Everybody.
Me, I'm sorry.
All of you have any more of these? They're all his company.
Little beef.
Just that one's been great. Oh. Hey, Mom. No problem. Just that one.
So listen,
little beef, like they be going. I'm like,
Kai, she was like, I was describing this book. I said, so it's 17 authors, and she was like, Mom, move out the way. You're not even describing it right. She was like, don't nobody want to buy a book and you just talking about the 17. No, it's about them resilience and over. I was like, oh, let me get out the damn way, because you got it. You got it. And so it was my other boy, then my oldest son, I was cracking up. He and I were talking late. We probably were up talking until about 1 o'clock in the morning. This man was having meetings in another conference room.
Oh,
he was having meetings. He was giving out stock advice. One guy was like, "Hey, I just bought this news. I just got done talking to Warren." They were talking for an hour. I just got done talking to Warren.
Love Warren.
Stock, and he told me to stop. Dude was acting like he was about to get rich. Whatever Warren said. And so he and I were talking about stock last night. I was like, Negro, work on my portfolio. Don't work on nobody else's. Get my shit together. Get me up.
See?
And then the other two, they it was their first time. So it was really it was so good to have the kids there in that room. But Boyce asked a question about being financially irresponsible or something like that. He was asking people in the audience, and her 14-year-old Lauren was like, so, every time I get money, it just goes to my, I'm like, 14, where?
Yeah.
14, like, she just takes the mic. She goes up there and she's like, I'm going to just be honest with you. When I get money,
I tend to overspend. I'll spend it. You give me, somebody else send me some money to my Cash App, and within 20 minutes, it's gone.
Yes, she said. And so Tara was like, she's just like me. I was like, no, she's way smarter than you.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, man. She has been here before. For sure.
She's got it.
Yeah, she does. She has it. But it is, and I just want to just reiterate to the people who are watching how important it is for people to get in those rooms, not just get in the rooms, because getting in the room is important. Networking is extremely important to your business, but bring your children and putting them in the room. How long has Lauren been coming to these things with you?
I want to say all her life, really.
Yeah.
Like, I want to say all her life. She's 14 now. Maybe for the last at least 12 years, she's been coming.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah. So she's been, since she was a baby, since she was in the womb.
She was a baby, yeah.
Yeah. So just, you guys, when you think about things like this and financial literacy, it's important. Number one, that we have these conversations at home, and then we expose our children. Even if we don't know, we have to somehow teach them. Solomon Barrow Solomon, or whatever his name is, one of the things he said about the Jewish community, they have less than 0.5% of the population, but 50% of the wealth, is that they have conversations with their children every night, and they talk about business. And so we have to have these financial literacy conversations with our children, so that they, I tell my kids, I've been telling my kids since they was little, y'all gonna be my ticket out the ghetto. And they be like, ghetto where? I'm like, ghetto. We in the ghetto. Where you gonna take us is gonna be way better than where you been. So you about to get us out. So, but having those conversations are critical to be able to do that. So
yeah. Her dad she told me she was gonna buy her dad a house, but I got it.
Oh.
She was like, I'm gonna buy my dad a house because he's in need. But you, Mom, you got it. I was like,
oh.
don't got it. I don't got it. That whole independent Black woman shit, like, I don't have it. I don't have it.
I need you to understand that I need, my boys are like, Mom, you don't need no man. You got us. I don't want y'all. No, you guys have your own stuff. Don't, I don't want, no.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah, exactly. So did you see that, that post yesterday by the Bureau of Labor Statistics that said April jobs report shows Black women lost 160,000 jobs last month? What did you think when you saw that?
I was just thinking it's a sign of the times, right? Like, in terms of everything, it feels like everything is coming at us at once. Really just the country, not necessarily just Black people, but every day I feel like we are finding out something else, like something, it's always something. So it just made me think about where we're going and how we really need to start to shift our mindset around how we make money. You talked about it this weekend, the Economic Elevation Summit, we were there. And one of the things Dr. Boyce said is that everybody should be selling something. Everybody should be, everybody. Even if you're not an entrepreneur, you should be creating a product of some sort. Just to make sure that when you lose a job or when you can no longer, because they're gonna fire you and keep it moving, or they're gonna, if you die or something happens to you, they're gonna hire somebody else. So it's just time for us to really start to think about creating things, even if it's just a small thing. Just something to sell.
That's smart. He said everybody should be selling something. I didn't hear that, but that is 100% on the mark. The Bible says in Ecclesiastes 11:2, it says have 7, and then it said no 8 revenue streams or 8 investments, because you don't know when a disaster will strike the land. And for right now, for Black women in corporate America, a disaster has stricken the land. COVID, a disaster struck the land. My divorce, a disaster struck the land. And had I not had multiple revenue streams, I would not be in the position that I'm in right now, because I lost a lot of money in my divorce. And so there's things that happen: death, divorce, the economy, job loss, whatever. Those all those things can happen. And I'm so glad that you said that. I think that's I'm gonna repeat that over and over again in my talking points, that whatever, no matter what you do, you should be selling something.
Because you said something. I did a presentation, like 3 ways to disaster proof your life. So I'm so glad you used the word disaster, because here's the thing: Black people are so used to disaster happening. Like, it's like, I said good times, the good times model, where we're used to hard things happening, us being wiped out and having to start over and over. Every time we got to start over new. And I think that's the disadvantage that we have to other cultures, is that sometimes they're not starting from zero, but we build up and then we got to start from zero. And then we build up and then somebody washes it away, or somebody does something, and then we're forced, and then we're just conditioned to be used to it. Like, okay, well, we didn't start it over before. Let's get it out the mud again. It's like nobody wants to keep doing that.
Right. I want to make a correction though. We don't start at zero. We start in a negative. We start from a negative. We start behind the starting point. We're not even at the starting point. We're like in a deficit. When you have a 400-year advantage over someone else, there is a clear deficit that we have at the starting gate. Like, we're not even at the starting gate. We ain't even in the field. Like, we're not even there. And Raimia said, it's an attack. They knew that Black women were benefited from opportunities that Black men were not getting and have to fight very hard for. Now, listen, because Raimia, I'm glad that you said that. Raimia is in the Net 7 Collective, but Raimia is also a government employee. Okay. And the first thing I thought, first of all, when they were rolling back DEI and they were getting rid of all the government jobs and they were doing all these things, with Doge and Donald Trump, Black people are overrepresented in the federal government, in the DMV area. Yeah. Most of the people who had these jobs were Black women. Yeah. So how do you destabilize a community? Black women. You go after their jobs. Okay, let's see. Let's see. So the thing about it is, and I hate to be like a conspiracy theorist, but I'm not a conspiracy theorist, because I think it's factual. Because, one of my mentors, Dr. George Fraser, said, white people ain't thinking about you, they think about their family. And I disagree. White people get up in the morning, and I'm talking about the powers of that be. I'm not talking about your neighbors or your friends or maybe even your colleagues, but the powers that be. They get up very early in the morning and they think, what can I do to maintain my power and my quote unquote supremacy? What can I do to maintain that? I do different things. I destabilize their community. I put drugs in their community. All of these things that they do intentionally to disrupt Black people. They are thinking about you.
And I would say that even if it's not an apparent, like I wake up, like I'm thinking about how to ruin the Black community, it's something that's been taught or something that's been ingrained. So even if it isn't like at the forefront, like I'm being racist right now, because sometimes or I'm against that community or whatever, like you said, I'm preserving self. I'm preserving my family. I'm preserving my race. Boom. You know what I mean? So I don't know. That's
so you're saying sometimes it's not necessarily at the forefront of their mind. It's more of a self-preservation type of thinking. And how do I, but here's the thing, because somebody said on one of my posts yesterday, they said, I think I was talking about how, I have a video about South Africa, and somebody says, well, if Black people had all the guns, they would be the ones, the Africans had all the guns, they would be the ones destroying. And I said, no, we ain't built like that. And I think that there are certain people, certain people that are the aggressive savages.
Yeah.
I mean, they are out there like pillaging and killing and conquering and doing all the things. You have King Leopold, who he cut off millions of hands because he was they weren't producing rubber quick enough. When you look at all of the pillaging that has gone on throughout this whole world, has really been done by one group of people.
Yeah.
So self-preservation, it's also supremacy.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I'd hate to think that literally somebody wakes up and says, what can I do to dismantle the Black race? But I mean, it's not like their ancestors didn't wake up and say the same thing. But I also wonder if, again, that was for control and preservation. I need to make money. I need to make money from this cotton. We need these slaves. They are, they are property. And just like the mindset of that, like, I mean, that's part of their lineage. That's part of their DNA. So maybe it's like just like slavery is part of our DNA. Our ancestors are part of us. That's hard to, wow. Okay.
It's deep and it's tough. It is a tough thing to think, but the thing about it is as long as you are an employee, you're at the mercy of whatever that they decide at any given moment that they decide to do it. I do want to ask people in the chat, do you guys know anybody? So far, honestly, I don't know a whole lot of people in the DMV, and I'm relatively new here. I've been here a couple of years, but I don't know anybody personally that's been laid off. Does anybody in the chat, do you guys know of anybody or a large number of people who've been laid off and that were disproportionately African American? Are you guys? Ramia said it's taught, but how is it that we have white African, girl, don't even go there. White Afrikaner refugees being let into the U.S. favor to Musk, and the Hispanic and Black communities are being stripped of jobs and freedom. You don't even hear me though. I don't know if you guys know about what's going on yesterday in Washington, D.C. They welcomed the Afrikaners, these white people who pillaged Africa. They were only 10% of the population. I actually just did a video on it yesterday. Let me show y'all. Let me thank you for bringing that up, Ramia, because I just posted a video about that yesterday in my Black History Spotlight. So let me just show y'all real quick. Let's see. Okay, check this out, y'all. This is real in these streets. You heard the U.S. is bringing in white South African refugees? They're calling it racial discrimination. But the real story, it's about Black South Africans finally getting their land back. And the people who built wealth off of their suffering are calling justice a threat. Now let's talk about it. South Africa isn't just a country with a painful past. It's a country where violence was law. From 1948 to 1994, apartheid was a full-blown system of state-sponsored terrorism against Black people. Under apartheid, Black South Africans were stripped of their citizenship, They were forced into segregated, impoverished homelands. They were required to carry passbooks just to move around their own land. They were beaten, jailed, and murdered for daring to exist outside their assigned boxes in their country. Now, let me paint the picture more clearly. In Sharpeville, police opened fire on peaceful protests, burning passbooks. 69 people were killed, most shot in the back. In Soweto, kids marched against being forced to learn in Afrikaans. Police responded by killing hundreds of school children. And all the while, white South Africans built generational wealth on stolen land, stolen labor, and stolen futures. By the time apartheid ended in 1994, white South Africans, just 10% of the population, still controlled over 70% of the land. Meanwhile, the Black majority was left with poverty, trauma, and barren land. Now, Black South Africans are saying enough is enough. They're demanding land expropriation without compensation, reclaiming the land stolen during colonialism and apartheid without paying the thieves back. But suddenly, white farmers are crying racial discrimination. And the Trump administration, they picked up the narrative and spun it to paint them as victims, calling them refugees, opening the doors to the U.S. not for the oppressed, but for the ones who benefited from oppression. Now, let me be clear. There's no law in South Africa targeting white people for being white. There's no persecution, just accountability. What we're witnessing is the legacy of colonialism being confronted. And for some people, justice feels like a threat. But this isn't reverse racism. This is restoration. This is reckoning. And baby, when you built your life on stolen land, truth will always feel uncomfortable. But we're not here to protect comfort. We're here to tell the truth, because you can't heal what you won't face. Now drop a Black fist in the comments and share this. So thank you, Ramian, for pointing that out, because they are in Washington, D.C. right now. Welcome to America. Welcome to America. These colonizers who went over there and murdered the people, stole their land, and killed them for going outside of their areas. They couldn't walk in certain areas. They had to learn their language.
Yeah.
This is only since 1947.
Yeah. I mean, right. This sounds like a lot like,
Segregation.
Something else. That's very, it sounds like something else familiar here.
It is. So now they're welcoming them to the country, and they've made millions of dollars off of stolen land. That's interesting. And they're probably going to get some type of, funds, funding, money, housing, all of that stuff. Meanwhile, just like Ramia said, they're sending Black people. When Jamal Bryant was speaking at MelaninCon a couple of weeks ago, he said, I think he had at least 50 or 100 Caribbeans members of his church that were waiting to be sent back as we speak. You only really see the face of the Cubans. I will vote por Donald Trump. Those and they're sending them back, but that's the face that you see. But Black people are being sent back too. Haiti, other places in the Caribbean. So, and then they're letting these people over here for free. It's so blatant, so crazy. But it's a part of what we're seeing in every sector of America. That's the reason why it's so important to have these conversations and just to open up the eyes. Because if you think, people always say, why do you always bring up race? Somebody, I think, even said in the comments about, it always comes down to racism. It always comes down to racism.
Because it does. It really, really, really does. It's the foundation of our country.
Yeah.
It's how we exist. It's why we exist. It's embedded in everything, in every fabric. Regardless if you want to have like a colorless country, we wouldn't be able to do it.
No.
Because we see it. We see, we see it.
The hierarchy was built off of the ability to oppress a certain people. And what's the easiest way to oppress a certain people than by skin color? And and white people often refer to, well, Irish were slaves. There is much different than chattel slavery and indentured servitude. And the reason why they stopped making Irish people slaves is because they understood the power of the people, the power of the oppressed that could actually, if they got together, they could overthrow them. So what do? We make them a little bit higher than the slave. We make them the overseer. And so the overseer, they knew that they were inferior to the British. So they made them the overseer of the slaves. So what they do, they brutalize the slaves just to impress their master. That's how you have this hierarchy of racism. So that's so embedded in our community. I'm gonna let you talk real quick because my battery's about to die. My son took the charger. I'll be right back.
But wait, what? Okay, all right. Hey y'all. All right, cool. You know, I hate when Constance does this, but it's fine. How y'all doing? How are y'all doing? Let me see. What's going on in the comments? Let me see. You know what? It's hard for me to... I'm grateful to be a fly on the wall in this room. Perfect. I can't really see the comments, y'all, from where I'm sitting. Let's see. I thought it was deliberate. Let's see. So I guess the only thing that I can say, because I can't see the comments and I really just can't, I can't even communicate with y'all as well because Constance just left. I'll just say, like, for me, I just think it's important to, if I go back to that whole idea, like making sure that every woman or every Black person has a product of some sort. Over the weekend, I taught people how to storytell around a product, right? How to use your story to sell products. And it was important because I feel like for us, you know, we have something that I don't think we're leveraging as well as we could. Just one story, one product, you know, give yourself 1 year to really get yourself really out of any type of financial turmoil that you might be in. So if we could focus long enough, y'all, to just, we could focus, because sometimes I think that we you know, we talked about it yesterday on Fly Nubian Money. You know, grind culture, we're looking around on the internet. I was saying, Constance, that yesterday we talked about how grind culture is affecting us. You know, on the show yesterday we talked about her last name is Cole. Is it Quita? Quita Cole, who basically was an owner of a restaurant, working herself to the bone, to death. Literally, she was on social media just explaining that she was so exhausted and she ended up dying in her sleep.
Oh, the chef.
Yeah, the chef, yes. And so
is that what she died of? She died of exhaustion, really? I keep seeing that.
Yeah. I mean,
you can't be that tired.
Huh?
You can't be that tired.
Absolutely, you can.
Oh,
You know, I mean, we
sit my ass down.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but I think that, I mean, it's like we glamorize grind culture, and we work ourselves to the bone. Black women are told if they're not working, they're not being productive, they're being lazy, right? So there's all these things, so we feel like we always have to be doing something.
I feel like that.
Think absolutely you do, and me too, and the body keeps score. And so what happened, she's running this company, she's running these restaurants. She was a serial entrepreneur, so that wasn't her only venture, right? You're at a restaurant, so likely if you serve hot wings and chicken wings, yes, you're there for hours and hours and hours. She was like, I am so tired. She said, I'm gonna just take 3 days off. Went to sleep one of those days and never woke up. So, you know, I just think it's important that we are like not only are we working like smarter and creating products, but putting ourselves in a situation where we're not we're working smarter. We're working smarter.
No, you're absolutely right. When I think about that, because I've always been, you know, my motto used to be nobody works harder than Constance Carter, and literally from sun up to sundown. And today I do feel like, wow, if I'm not doing something, I'm not being productive. And y'all, at the Elevation Economic Summit, one of the gentlemen, Eros, I don't know his last name. That man said he work an hour a week.
That's what he said.
30 minutes on Monday and 30 minutes on Friday.
Yep.
I was like, Warren, you better get my stock portfolio up. We doing something wrong. And even if, you know, I mean, you know, money is cool and all that stuff, but even, I don't even know if I could sit down for
But here's the thing. I think what he's saying is I spend my time the way I want to spend my time. So if I want to do A, B, and C, I'm not, because he spent a lot of years in corporate and trying to get, like he was saying, he was telling his story. I tried to get a raise, or he was trying to get promoted, and they wouldn't promote him because they said that he wasn't qualified, although he had done all of the things to warrant a promotion, and he didn't get it. And so he was like, let me just start studying stock options. Let me just start building a capital base. Let me just figure this out. Like, what do you do? And he just spent a couple years just doing research, and you see, he said he only really works with 7 different stocks. It's not like he's like, oh, I got 40 different things in my portfolio. He's like, I got 7 stocks that I option. And that's it.
Yeah.
And I know what they're gonna do. I know what they're doing. I know the rhythm. I know the thing. And
He got the formula. He got the formula.
He got the
Yeah,
formula.
it was funny because I had some company over here week before last. And after, I got done, doing this stuff, and then I went and sat down. I was like, oh, I'm exhausted. This man said, man, you could never work in a forklift or a warehouse. No, I couldn't.
I don't want to.
I don't want to. What if you worked in a warehouse? That's why I don't do it. Like, is my exhaustion not equivalent to somebody? Because I was tired. I was ready to go take a nap. But yeah, I could. So I guess when you think of, like, comparatively speaking, like, our type of work, I mean, even though, we work all the time, it's stuff that you love to do. I do things that I absolutely love to do all day, all night, even at night. So even at night when I'm tired and I'm doing that 7, or I'm teaching the B1 real estate mastery training, which I'm teaching tonight, I'm energized because I absolutely love it. So it's not like I'm doing something that I don't like to do.
Yeah.
But that is the thing, y'all. We should be doing stuff that we absolutely love to do. The problem with being reliant on these jobs, and the problem with a lot of Black women, is we have occupational segregation. Yeah. We're placed in lower paid, less stable roles. And that's the reason why our jobs are expendable. We get 60% or 58% or 60% of what a white male does for the exact same jobs. And we are a lot of times overly qualified.
Yeah.
Even with degrees, there's systemic biases. We even if we have experience, Black excellence period, we still got to fight for a seat at the table. When we gonna start making our own table?
That's right.
Black women, we are the backbone of our families. We are juggling work and caregiving, and a lot of times we're doing it without the support. So when you think about all the things, all the factors that go into the fact that, we're fighting so hard, we're working so hard, and then you talk about that grit, grind, and that exhaustion that we take on as Black women, and then y'all want to come and play with our jobs and do this silly ass DEI shit and roll things back and take away opportunities. What does that benefit? And this is what I don't understand about America, Tiara, is the powers that be will cut off their nose to spite their face. Mm-hmm. Just like, Trump says, I love the poorly educated. So they will vote against their own best interests just so that you won't have the benefit. Mm-hmm. What does laying off a bunch of people do when they get unemployment? So it's a drain on the system. It's a strain on the system. Mm-hmm. They're going to have to sell their houses. It's going to affect the economy. It's going to affect the spending. Like, why does that help? How does laying people? That's what I wondered from the start. How does laying off help people?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess what they're saying is like, all these frivolous spending. People are just getting paid to sit at home because, he hated the whole home remote thing.
Yes.
Yeah, I just think it's that, like, we're spending billions or trillions of government dollars, and it's not really benefiting anyone else. But I think he went too far. There's so many departments that we've lost that, when it comes to even like certain foods, the FDA, like them not being able to search, to vet certain foods in certain departments. Like, there's a lot of things that are going to change in this next few years that, right now it might just be a headline, but we're going to feel it, really feel it. And I do wonder if we'll be able to kind of reverse some of the things that he's put into place, that, that may be good for us, that's beneficial for us, especially as African Americans. So I do wonder, like, I'm not fearful because I understand, but I am concerned about our future, the
Yeah.
next couple of years even.
Yeah. No, well, that's why we have to do the things that we need to do in order to get insulated so that we won't be affected, or that we limit our liability on being affected when things like this happen. When you talk about that the cuts that Doge did, what they found was they didn't even save any money. They didn't even save the amount of spending for one day's worth of spending. They didn't even save that with the layoffs.
Nope.
And they had actually an auditor. I forget what her name was. It was on 60 Minutes, and one of the things she said was, "This is needed. They needed to go in to audit the government because there was a lot of wasteful spending, but there was not fraud."
Yeah.
He is saying there was fraud. There was
Yeah.
no fraud. There was wasteful spending. And when I think about so because Governor DeSantis of Florida said something that I totally agree with. He said, "Why am I paying property taxes on the house that I own? Like, at what point do we own the house? We never own the house because we still got to pay taxes on it.
Yeah.
We pay taxes on everything. And the tax system has gotten so out of hand that they increase our taxes and they increase our taxes. And then the money that they're collecting from us is going to stupid ass shit. They're going to bridges to nowhere. It's going to so there's a ton of wasteful spending that's happening that we're paying for in taxes. And if it's the middle class, we're paying the majority of the taxes. The wealthy people or the business owners, they're not paying taxes like middle class people are. So you have Warren Buffett, who's one of the wealthiest men on the planet. His secretary pays more in taxes than he does. You have Donald Trump, got all this money, but he doesn't pay any taxes. So you got to think about who's paying the taxes, who's taking the brunt of the. So DeSantis, he ain't paying no taxes either. He don't want to pay no property taxes. I get it, sir. I don't want to pay no property taxes either. I don't want to pay. So there has to be some checks and balances. Absolutely. And so hopefully, my hope is that even though they haven't made any significant change, hopefully significant change will come out of that to where at the end of the day, it'll affect us where we're paying less.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see that. I see it. I
Yeah.
see it. I just don't think I don't think this administration is equipped for that type of there's just not in my opinion, there's just not enough strategy. It feels like it's more about
no strategy.
control and about it's like you don't even know what you're doing. So
Yeah.
I see the need for what's happening, but it's just like if somebody at the helm that was actually like smart and could process things, and it wasn't about ego and control and I think that would make all the difference. Like, this is going to be great for the American people, but but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. So here, let me ask you a question. What are some ways that we can insulate ourselves as Black women? What do you think?
I think I always talk about this. When Kamala was running for president and we found out, and Black women just was like, oh, this is what we about to do. We about to get together on a Zoom and raise money. We are about to galvanize. We are about to mobilize. We about to all of the I's. And they got together and they raised so much money and really just became a movement, right? We talk about 92% of Black women voting for Kamala and really just doing their part. I feel like that type of energy right there, if we could do that even for our own communities and our own selves, our own businesses, and just kind of like turn that energy inward, we would be all right.
That's it. I mean, we know that we can do it. How much? I wish I had the statistic of how much Black people raised during that time.
So many millions of dollars.
Yeah.
So many millions
a lot,
of dollars.
A lot.
We did that.
In 24 hours, Black women did that. Black women, we were so 9,000 jobs last month were in the federal government were gone just last month. This is not even the first quarter. 2,000 retail position, education and healthcare, and then of course with the DEI rollbacks, there was even more in the public sector. But I just think that what Black women need to do is we need to learn high income skills, digital marketing, coding. Got to learn AI. Got to learn AI. Just like you said about what Boy says, you need to sell something.
Yes.
If you have only one stream of income, that is too little That's too close to poverty. You are a step away from poverty because at any given moment, it can be taken from you. And unemployment ain't paying shit and it only lasts for a little bit.
Yeah.
You got to invest in yourself. So this time, like my sister just lost her job. And I was like, this is the best time of your life. You got severance, you got unemployment, you can pivot, you could shift and do something else. Girl, you're brilliant. What are you going to do? Because right now, at 52 years old or 53, however old she is, she could really take this moment to do something to change her life. The same with a lot of you who have lost your jobs. Think about it. You got the severance, especially if you were with the federal government. You can get unemployment at the same time as you getting the severance. What can you do to change your life?
No, it's crazy. I love that you said that. That's confirmation. But I was going to do a show on Flying to Be Money about just that, like how to pivot every time. So we're going to do that. But I read a book, or I was introduced to a book yesterday, and I downloaded it and I started reading. I'm not finished, but the concept from Maria Wendt, Wendt, is that you could develop one product. One product, hit it for 1 year, develop one. Everything is about the power of one instead of trying to do all the things. Create one digital project, one digital product, make one video a day, and one, for 1 year. And like the system is like, after just pounding away at that thing, especially in this market, it'll really make a difference. That's 365 videos or promotion, really hitting the nail on the head every single day. And I just think it's so powerful. So when I finish, I'm going to incorporate that into what we're doing, because I love that. I love the idea of that.
That's smart. I always tell the people that I coach is you got to be a subject matter expert. A lot of times people want to be the jack of all trades and the master of none, right? So they just want to have all these things going on. And the reason why I have 8, 10, I don't know, revenue streams, I got books and t-shirts and stock and cannabis and all these things, but they came from one thing. They came from me being really, really good at selling real estate, me being really, really good at investing. And then I started doing these other things that were a branch off from that one thing. I didn't start out just doing a bunch of, because I had to be an expert at one thing. I had to really, really concentrate for that one thing. And the thing about it, I think, Tiara, that people don't understand is they have $1 million idea that's already in them.
Yeah.
You don't need to search for the business. You are the business. Your story, your struggles, your skills, your hardships can be the blueprint to help somebody else. Your IP, your intellectual property, it can be monetized. The thing about it too is most people stay broke because they're waiting to feel ready. How many people, that's a common thread, right? People get stuck in analysis paralysis.
They do.
Overanalyze. Wait a minute, I gotta be perfect. I gotta wait. I don't know were you on the call when somebody said, I gotta get my master's first. No, you don't. Were you on our Net 7 call when somebody said that? No, you're not getting your master's first. We're not waiting until everything is perfect. You're gonna go out there and we're gonna push you to it right now because it'll never be perfect.
Never. Even after you get that master's, you're still gonna feel like
there's gonna be something else.
It'll be something else. Yes.
It'll be something else.
And I think we know that from just working with clients. Like people have their fears and they sabotage themselves, but it shows up in different ways. It isn't just saying like, I'm walking in and saying, I'm scared. I'm fearful. That's just it. They make up other excuses. It's like you trying to weed through it. I'm like, oh, this just sounds like fear, boo. No, I'm not scared. I mean, I'm cool. I'm not scared. I'm just saying, I'm trying to figure it out. I need 10 degrees before we can do it.
We are masking our procrastination as planning because we're afraid to launch. Let me say that one more time. You are masking your procrastination as planning. I'm planning. I'm gonna get it perfect because you're scared, because you got fear. And you got to be like Nike and just do it.
That's it.
Don't wait for the money. You don't need capital. You need a strategy. The fact that you don't have a clear offer on what it is that you want or how to even articulate your value. And the thing about that I think people don't understand is the thing that they have in themselves can be the answer to somebody else's prayer.
Yeah.
Think about that, y'all.
Absolutely.
Think about this. because people watch us, thousands of people watch us every day, right? So from Fly Nubian Money to here, people watch us. At one time, I was like, I don't feel like getting up on here. I'm tired of hearing. I'll be like, girl, shut up. I'm tired of hearing myself talk. I really do. I'd be like, when I listen to myself, I'll be like, girl, shut up. I do. I get tired of. But imagine, because I did, I stopped because I was like, I'm tired. But imagine if we didn't go live every day. Somebody gets something from what it is that we do because we do it, even though we don't want to do it. Yeah. This is not my most, y'all even don't even know. I was telling Tierra before I got on here, I was painting. Quarter rounds in my kitchen. I did not want to come on here today at all. I'm trying to get my house together. I'm over here nailing. I put a utility bench together. Like I'm over here working. But I knew that I needed to come and I had a message to share with you guys. But imagine if I only thought about myself and I did, then there's something that you heard today that you would not have heard had I not done the things that I needed to do. Same with you.
Yeah.
There's something that you have that somebody else needs to hear. And by you not operating in your genius, they're not able to do it.
Yep. And I think we know, right? We know the thing. You know the thing.
It
comes back to you. There's something like that. I call it the burden. The burden keeps coming back to you, whether it's your burden from, our creator, our God, or whoever it is that I call it the burden of the Lord, but it comes and it just keeps coming to you. Like, start this, start this, start this. And what do? You run the other way and go, nope, first I got to do this. And then you go the other way, but you don't know, like on the other side of like you said, your procrastination, you just being consistent. I think this is what Fly Nubian Money and what this has taught me, just this whole, interaction, what we do, we get on live.
It's hard
as shit. I didn't want to do it every day.
I don't either. This is hard.
I didn't want to do it every day, but every day I was like, you know what? This is to show me that I can be consistent. I can be consistent. Y'all can be consistent. Just if you could just figure out how to be consistent, your life would change. It's like that discipline. I'm always listening to things about, because I'm not even at my top tier discipline. I'm not at top tier discipline, but I'm always like, I'm the one that's like, man, you need to get up and run in the morning. And it's hard for me to get up and run. So I was like, I'm gonna just join a run club. I'm that girl, right? Like that. I gotta find a way to do it no matter what.
Yeah, man. That's you like a dog on a bone, huh? You don't play.
I don't play. I there's only so much time I'll give myself to be like kind of lollygagging with it before I'm like, sis, you gotta do it. You gotta slim down. Nike. You gotta,
be like Nike and just do it.
Just do it. I love Shoe Dog, by the way. I love that bio. But I love the book. So if y'all want inspiration on just doing some things, and it's gonna be hard, right? It wasn't like even when we're talking about the Shoe Dog, we're talking about Phil Knight. He didn't jump from like Nike and knowing what it was gonna be. It was like so ghetto, and I mean that, like in terms of like it was so janky. All of the shoes, him going over to Japan trying to get shoes from the Japanese, like him, it was just a whole thing.
Right.
He didn't know it was gonna be what it is today. It's just like he didn't stop though. I think that's
y'all understand. I was talking to a friend last week, a couple weeks ago, and I was like telling her she need to go live. She need to do, she was like, no, because I gotta have production. I was like, girl, somebody needs to hear what you got. She's like, no, I gotta, because I don't want it to be okay. All right. I mean, I tell you, I can't make you do nothing, but people need to hear what you have to say. And here's the thing about it. Y'all don't even understand that if God gave something to you, it's gonna happen. If you don't move on the idea, somebody else will. God is going to make sure that whatever his mission and his purpose is going to get done, whether it's through you, when he gave it to you first, or not. It's gonna happen. So when you're sitting back on that idea and you're not doing anything and you see somebody else doing it, then you get depressed, you get stressed. Why didn't I do it? Let me tell y'all something. This is what I was telling them on Saturday. I had Calendly should have been my shit, or style sheet should have been my shit, because I used to hate making appointments to go to the hair salon. I was like, dang, if I just had an online hair thing, I could, I don't have to make my own appointment to go, And so now what do we have? We have all these online calendaring systems, and Calendly, a Black man created Calendly, which is great. But people are making millions of dollars for something that you thought about 10, 15, 20 years ago. And here they are making millions of dollars because you sat on it. Now, it wasn't important enough to me to do it, but I'm just saying, like, I thought of that shit. That was my idea before it was his idea. I think it was. But there's so many things, and I'm not the big ideation person. And the thing about it is, so many of you guys are the big ideation people. So many of you have these brilliant ideas. And I wish I was you. I really do. Because I'm not an ideation person. I'm an executor. And I execute on something like this right here. In our session for Net 7, I do this thing where I help to bring people's idea to life, right? So I give them a formula, and I tell them to give us their story, to sell their story, right? And so everybody's telling their story, and then I would retell it to them. And just let me show you an example. I did it over the weekend at the thing. Let me see. I got the video in here. No, I don't. Let me see. Let me upload it. But so what? Oh, it's too big. I can't do it. Anyway, you'll tell your story. I'll retell it to you in a more polished way. And so I was doing that. And so somebody on the call, Kamika, said, we should do an anthology. And I was like, bet. And within a month, maybe a month and a half, no more than 2 months, we had a whole book. I taught these ladies how to write a book, how to become authors. And now they're authors. And now they're having book releases and book signings. And, this is their calling card. They're sharing their story, and they're inspiring. We're inspiring thousands of people as a result of us just doing something, executing on an idea. Everything I do is an idea from somebody else. It ain't even an idea from me. I don't even have the big ideas. But a lot of you guys are big creative people, and you guys have ideas. And so God wants to see that idea being taken. You're doing something. I'm doing something. And I want to share with them. I'm doing a training called Bring Your Idea to Life. And it is on the 24th, where I'm helping you go from ideation to manifestation to monetization. I take you through the blueprint. I take you through the roadmap of how to get there. I think I do have a Bring Your Idea to Life thing real quick. I think I do. Do I have one? I got a bunch of videos up in here, girl. Maybe I don't. Maybe it's here we go. The Bring Your Idea to Life training was originally a 2-day training. Some of the students had an idea in their mind. They weren't sure what they wanted to do. They had a business that they wanted to really get off the ground, or they had a business that they wanted to scale and grow. Don't listen to me. Listen to what they had to say about their experience in the training.
I came with just an idea. I really didn't know how or what to do. I walked away with not only knowing what I came in with, but what I was able to accomplish while I'm here in my next steps.
It really take me out of my comfort zone. Although I have all these passion about specifically something that I wanted to create, I didn't know where to go. And this training actually helped me to take whatever was in my head, put it on paper, forced me to do what I didn't expect I was gonna do. I thought I was just gonna come and just follow a lecture. I didn't know I was gonna do step by step, and at the end of it, create something that I could actually start working on.
This workshop has been really informative and transformational. It's not just informational, it has actionable steps that you can do. And like throughout this whole workshop, Constance always see where we were at, asking like, why would we buy, helping us crystallize our offer, helping us, have more clarity and be able to articulate our offering and our vision and what we can, provide. And, I recommend this workshop. It's really, it has been transformational, and I'm thankful for signing up.
So listen, seating is limited because I can only take so many people in this training with me by myself. However, I want to help you get from ideation to manifestation to monetization. So you need to sign up for the training, and let's bring your idea to life. So if y'all ready to do it,
Love it.
let's
I
get her
love it.
done. What? And you're doing something after that too.
Yeah, I'm doing so before. So we have a 3 week story selling event. Basically, I'm doing a workshop. It's something similar, but not right. So we're doing live feedback on stories. We're doing story strategy. I'm really going to help you as as a screenwriter, as a writer, as someone who works in Hollywood, as a producer. I'm going to give you we're going to just talk through your story and I'm gonna let one story. We ain't gonna do, I don't wanna know what happened, when you was 27, 87. We just gonna take the strongest story in your life that's that can be wrapped around a product. And then we're gonna put those things together. I'm also offering an interview, so you'll get to like sell your story live through an interview that you can use for content. So yeah, so if you are interested in working with us, I'm at Miss Black Hollywood, us, like not me, just me, but MissBlackHollywood.net is our link. I don't have the link,
Put it on
Constance.
the put it on the banner.
I can't because my computer, I would usually run it from my computer. So MissBlackHollywood.net. MissBlackHollywood.net. Can you type it for me?
Mm-hmm.
MissBlackHollywood.net.
Boom. Right.
Bow.
All right.
Um, yeah.
So she has that. That's going to be when's the dates on that one?
So we start on the 24th as well, but what I did was I'm going before you, and we're just going to do like a meet and greet and like a soft launch, right? So from 8 to 10 Eastern Standard is our first day, but we're going to just kind of talk through some things, get to know each other. I want to know who's in the room and do that, and then they can come over to you.
So mine's going to be on the 24th also. And mine's Bring Your Idea to Life. So what I do is I take you through the roadmap of discovering what is your idea, what is your business strategy. I take you through how to brand it, how to bring it to the forefront, how to identify who your target market is, how to understand identify what their pain points is. The reason why is because a lot of people, they have these great ideas, but they're not able to articulate their value proposition, their unique value proposition. What is it that you do? You have a great idea, but you don't know how to sell it. And 80% of businesses fail because of lack of marketing strategy. And part of that marketing strategy is really being able to crystallize what your idea and your marketing is, or your product is, so that you can properly market it. We Black women, especially, and this is for everybody. So as you see, you have men and women in the training, but we have to get out of this rat race. We got to stop working for the men. We got to start working for ourselves. Now, Miss Raymia, I'm going to get on your helmet if you still on here, because Raymia did this awesome Runway for the Cure event, and she just did something last weekend, which I'm hella mad. Raymia, if you on here, do another one now that I'm back in the DMV. She just did this great, beautiful Mother's Day event. But Raymia has this great network, and she put on, I mean the event, I wish I had it on here. The event was amazing. And she has contacts and resources. And she works, she has a contract and she said in the public sector, and she's in IT. That pays the bills. That's the 9 to 5. And then she's also a fashion designer. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful fashions. But I really want you to get really clear on that one thing that you need to do, that you need to focus on. And we've talked about this before, and then let's branch out on everything else. But I need you to do that, right? What right?
One of the things, I mean, I am multi-hyphenate, Ramia, and so I understand sometimes when you're creative and then you get in these, I saw entrepreneurship and like creativity separate, right? I was like, oh, but I'm an artist. And when I became a business owner, it felt very restricting. But what I did was I created a company, a media production company, The Real Network, which allowed me to do all the creative things under that umbrella. So one day I'm able to write someone's book. The next day I'm able to write somebody's screenplay. The next day I'm able to write somebody's TV show or whatever it is. And it doesn't feel like I'm all over the place. It feels like if it's not for me, it's for someone else. And I still get to be creative. So I'm saying that to say, like, if you can find a way to kind of conglomerize or just put everything under one umbrella that doesn't feel like, you the trash lady during the day and like a Batman at night, and then like the next day you do it like, because sometimes it can feel very like stark and like different, but I hear some symmetry. I hear some congruence, some symmetry between what you're doing. So it's just about how you package it and how you tell that story.
Yeah, yeah. She said that's her story too. That's
Yeah.
her story too.
You
But
can, we're gonna talk about it on Wednesday when I see you
yeah,
in next Saturday.
yeah, she's dope. So she's having a Father's Day thing on June 15th. And the Zat girl, she got the Zaddies. They're like the what are them called? The Silver Fox. She created a whole group called the Zaddies out here in DC. And it's all the
Oh,
little fine brothers in the area. And so now they're sponsoring this. I want to just address Hasmam Immortal. A lot of Black females lost over 200K jobs because a lot of y'all in the CEO or manager positions crap on Black homeless men for the last 5 years. Not one time y'all didn't help put an end to homeless. I'm sorry that you're
huh?
homeless. Don't blame Black women for being homeless, Hamzam.
Huh?
Speaking on experience, I've seen a lot of y'all Black crap on homeless. Black brother is homeless, and I'm sorry that you're homeless. Maybe you should go to a shelter. Maybe if you have some family that can help you, but please don't. We're not to blame, sweetheart. We are not to
Listen,
blame for your homelessness. I'm
I
sorry. I
I
am
don't
so
know.
sorry that you are homeless, brother. I really
I
am.
don't know about you, Constance, but in my former life, I didn't had a couple men on my couch.
Not yet. I'm too damn old to be having a Negro on my couch.
Like I said, before I came to Jesus, I was like, you can stay with me. You're down right now. I know you're trying to make it as a comedian. I got you, boo.
Let me tell you something. April said she said if you go to a man's house and that mattress is on the floor, he got some bomb. so that must have been the case. If you let that brother sleep on your couch, it must have been some bomb. Anyway,
I was
I
holding
gotta
the brother
interview.
down. I was holding the Black man down.
Yeah, because he had that good.
I was young. I was young.
He had that good. Had your ass scrubbed. Out a ninja on the couch. All right, I gotta interview somebody for Net 7. I got an appointment right now, and then
Okay.
we will be on. What are we talking about today on Finding Your Money?
Let's see. I need you to look at that because it's actually in your wheelhouse. So I don't know if you know that Tupac's estate is not managed by anyone in his family.
I
His
heard.
sister is actually suing a man who was a former executive, or I don't know if he might still be a music executive, white guy named Tom Wally, who Afina put a lot of trust in, who is now like out here spending Tupac's estate money like it's his money, right? So I want to talk about that today because yeah, when Tupac died in 1996, his estate, he was worth less than $100,000. It's grown into a $40 million estate. Yeah, and so his family is not benefiting because his mother put it in the hands of this white man, and
Why she
now
do that?
why she do that?
Uh,
So make sure y'all, we gonna talk today about estate planning. Because there was some mismanagement in the family, and there was like conflict and all of that, and things that because Black people, we can't keep it together. We can't keep our family business together. We want to beef about stupid stuff, and it ends up costing us a lot more than we think.
mm-hmm. James said, "Homeboy is homeless, and he has like that's all he got, brother. All he got is his electronic devices. I'm trying. I told you.
You take a shower at the gym. It's okay.
It's fine. Listen, we are not judging you, sir. We're not
Oh,
judging you. But listen, it's not our fault that
it's
you're
not Black
homeless.
women's fault. The
No,
population of
no,
Black women.
it's not the population of Black women's
We didn't
fault
do it.
that you homeless. I'm sorry. Shout out. I'll send some prayers. I'll send some good vibes. I'll send some good energy your way. And I hope that you and your cell phone and your homeless ass could find you some shelter. We see you tomorrow, same bad time.